up, bass family? In today's episode of Hero Bass, we're talking about the right hand technique or your plugging hand technique. Stay tuned and let's cue the intro. What is up, bass family? Welcome to Hero Bass, to the place where we talk bass, gear, music, related topics. My name is Norm, and I hope you guys are doing awesomely well. Welcome to the channel, guys, and in today's episode, we're going to dig right into it. We're going to talk about the right hand technique. Quick disclaimer, do what works best for you. Again, do what works best for you. The reason I'm saying that is because we're going to be seeing some other people's techniques, and what I want us to do is, at the end of the day, evaluate what works best for you. Now, I'm going to give you some tips, I'm going to give you some tricks, I'm going to give you some thoughts and some nuggets and whatever you want to call it. What I need you to do is just sit down with your instrument and understand, first of all, the type of instrument you have. Secondly, understand the way your hands are built. And that works different for everybody. Everybody has different hands. I'm going to be using my Stingray Rocky, my #1 bass. Quick shout out video over here. First things first, placement. I'm going to show you guys a few different players. We're going to have Flea from the Chili Peppers, Andrew Gouche, Marcus Miller, and Janek Gwizdala. Okay, and I'm going to use these four as an example because they all have pretty different techniques. They play in different spots of the bass, and this is what I mean. Typically, hand placement, you can think about it as so many different ways, but typically it's when I play, and most of the time I play standing up, I like to have my arm extended and straight up and have it look to my controls, right? Have it look down. So whenever I'm playing, I'm going to play a major scale, for example. I like just to have it up and down and have it as straight as possible. If you look at people like Andrew Gouche and Marcus Miller, they typically have a really noticeable bend on their wrist, right? Marcus Miller typically plays a jazz bass, and he plays it with a lot of curvature in his wrist, right? Just how your wrist bend might work for you, might not work for you. Experiment. This is the whole topic of this video, is to experiment right hand positioning. Flea from the Chili Peppers, on the other hand, has his hand going that way, right? And he has his bass with the neck a little bit more upper side, right? And his hand, there's a small bend, but there's not enough. There's not like a really pronounced one. That's what I'm trying to say. When we talk about Janek Gwizdala, I saw him live at the NAMM show, and I was beyond impressed by the way he plays. But the thing was that he has a really distinctive, I would call, technique, and his hand comes from, not from the top, but like from the side. And he also holds the bass just like Flea does, like you know, that way along, but he has it a little bit higher, a little bit closer to him instead of further away, right? So when he's playing, his hand shifts a little bit, right? I might be doing it a little bit wrong, but here's a picture of it, of how he has his hands just coming like from the off side of the bass, right? And his hand is just right there. In terms of the thumb, there's a few things we can do with it. If you have a thumb rest, just like I do with this beautiful Zero Mod, again, video over here, I can place my thumb there. I don't like just keeping it there because I'm gonna create an angle on my wrist, and it typically hurts. It's like to move my thumb along according to where I'm playing. Now, my rule of thumb, no pun intended, is this. So if I'm playing on the E string and the A string, I can just keep my thumb in that one position. Now, whenever it is that I need to move to a passage or to a groove or whatnot, that stays in the higher register, meaning in the higher strings, I like to move my thumb a few places down, and this is the order I would go. So if I'm playing on my E string, I have E, A, D, G, right? If I'm playing on my E and A, I just keep it right over here. If I'm playing on my A, D, move my thumb down and make it rest on the E string. And then same thing if I'm playing anything lower. So if I'm playing on D and G, I typically like to anchor my thumb in the A string. use the floating thumb technique. And floating thumb pretty much is just having your thumb not be an anchor on the strings. Okay, and pretty much your thumb is just floating. Again, it can get a little bit trickier and you have less stability in your fingers, so typically I like to have my thumb anchored. Now, I started saying the bass I was using, and also one of the things I said earlier in the video was that you have to understand the instrument you're playing. And typically, because I have a MusicMan bass, I like to play around the pick on top of the pickup, but I like to anchor my thumb in between the little ears of the screws for the pickup, or forward in the front of the first ear. And that's kind of like the way I like to do it. Again, trying to keep a stable positioning with your hands, having them as relaxed as possible. So now let's move on to the fingers. Play finger style. Typically I'm using 2 to 3 fingers. I use my third finger as, you know, trying to do like some fast stuff or whatnot. When I'm playing with my index and middle, one of the things I like to do is that if I need like the notes to be longer and feel more bassy, typically I'm gonna play with the fleshy part of my finger. If I'm playing a groove that needs to be very short notes, I typically try to play with the tip of my fingers. And it's not extremely audible. I don't know if it's something just mental that I go to, but it's one of those little things that keeps me understanding the length of notes that I need to play on. So this is what I mean. That's playing with the flesh, with the fleshy part of my fingers. I'm gonna play with the tips. Also with my fingers, when I'm playing, I'm trying to strike. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of like the way I'm trying to approach the attack on the strings, okay? I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to grab the string and pull it up. I'm just trying to go through the string. Another thing with the right hand, for me, when it comes in terms of playing fast or slow, one of the things I like to think about is that if I want to go fast, I have to be lighter. If I want to have a heavy groove that I need to play and emphasize, or have a bunch of eighth notes and they have to be like pumping eighth notes or whatnot, I play with different types of finger dexterity, if you want to call it that way. Typically, for a fast passage, I'm going to use a fraction of a major scale, something like that. When it comes to trying to play fast, I try to play lighter. Now, if I'm playing a groove and I need to be pumping eighth notes or just moving along, I tend to put a little bit more emphasis. I try to play with a little bit more aggressiveness. Also, I have a video about hand placement. That's going to be linked as well over here. And hand placement is talking about the different positionings that you can place your hands and try to get different tones from your bass. This video is kind of like a follow-up to that when we're talking about in relation to the right hand technique. Okay, guys? So, guys, I hope that was insightful. I want to thank everybody for checking us out at HeroBass.com. Thank you for following us on Instagram at HeroBassNorb. Also, we have some pictures and some fun stuff there that you can take a look at for a little bit. I thank you guys for all the support through all this time. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit us with a like, subscribe to the channel, and that will be it for this video. And guess what? We will see you guys in the next one.